Sara clutched her worn, stuffed rabbit close to her chest, her eyes darting around the dimly lit room. Her mother, Evelyn, sat beside her, the only island of warmth in the sea of shadows filling the abandoned house. The creak of the ancient wooden floorboards echoed through the silence, a sinister reminder that they were not alone. The house had been left to Evelyn by a distant relative she barely remembered, a decrepit old mansion surrounded by a dense, foggy forest that seemed to go on forever. The first night had seemed as normal as any in an unfamiliar place, until the clock struck midnight. Sara had been the first to hear it, the soft, malicious whispers that flowed through the air like invisible smoke. At first, she thought it was her imagination, but then the whispers grew louder, carrying fragments of broken words and chilling promises. Evelyn, ever the skeptic, had brushed it off, attributing it to the wind or the old house settling. When objects began to move on their own, Evelyn's skepticism turned into stubborn denial. A candle would flicker and fall over, a chair would scrape across the floor, and books slid ominously off shelves. It was not until she saw the figures, shadowy forms lurking at the edge of her vision, that she began to grasp the grave mistake of staying in the house. One night, the tension reached a boiling point. Sara, unable to sleep, wandered down the narrow, creaking hallway, her stuffed rabbit clutched tightly. The whispers were louder tonight, almost as if they were calling her name. She glanced back, hoping to see her mother, but Evelyn was still ensnared in the dark grip of a restless slumber. As Sara approached the living room, an icy chill gripped her heart. There, in the corner, stood a figure, tall, gaunt, with hollow eyes that gleamed like coals in the sunset. She froze, her breath caught in her throat, unable to scream. The figure began to move towards her, each step echoing like a death knell in the silent house. Suddenly, Evelyn was there, pulling Sara back, her wide eyes mirroring her daughter's terror. She slammed the door shut, barricading it with whatever they could find, their trembling hands making the task difficult. Evelyn whispered comforting lies to Sara, telling her everything would be all right, but the truth was written all over her face. They were trapped. The night seemed endless, the house alive with the sound of creaking floors, distant cries, and sudden loud noises that kept their hearts racing. As dawn's first light broke through the foggy forest, the whispers faded, the figures vanished, but the sense of dread lingered. Evelyn knew they had to leave, but the house had other plans. Every attempt was thwarted by some unseen force, locking doors, jamming windows, leaving them in perpetual fear. The haunting of Sara's abode was far from over.